This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? Hashtag sexy. He's here.
It's Wednesday, May the 27th, 2015, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. We begin with news of a tough-talking president of the National Union of Public Workers demanding an apology from Prime Minister Freundel Stuart. Akani McDowell told a hastily called press conference yesterday that Prime Minister Stuart was disrespectful to the trade union movement when he said last week that the union was keeping noise for requesting information on the planned transfer of the Customs and Excise Department under the newly formed Barbados Revenue Authority on July the 1st. The NUPW has been complaining that its members in Customs remained in the dark about their future with the BRA due to a lack of proper information on the new terms and conditions of employment.
Today is a sad day in trade union history. We had the leader of the country coming out and saying that the union is keeping noise, which I personally find is very disrespectful to this organization and to any trade union body that exists within Barbados. You cannot be making statements saying that unions are making noise and then asking those same people to sit down and have negotiations with you. I think it is not only unethical, it is disrespectful, distasteful, all of those words. I think as a Prime Minister, I would have said that the Prime Minister speaks well, but I think on this occasion he would have erred. And I would like for him to look at Barbados, just like what he said to us, think about Barbados, and do the right thing and apologize to the unions of Barbados for making that statement.
That was President of the National Union of Public Workers, Akani McDowell. Meanwhile, those guards and officers represented by the NUPW have been summoned to an emergency meeting this morning at 10 o'clock to discuss their next form of action. Meanwhile, the Barbados Workers Union, which is also demanding information on the transfer to the Revenue Authority, has put a planned industrial action on hold pending the outcome of a follow-up meeting next Monday with the head of the Civil Service, Martin Cox. A meeting that involved the BWU, the BRA, and the scores of customs employees chaired by Cox at government headquarters yesterday ended on a disappointing note as far as BWU General Secretary Tony Moore was concerned.
The discussions at this level, we are at the stage of dialogue. Action may become necessary.
It may become necessary.
Action may become necessary, so the head of civil service has left the meeting with the understanding that he will speak to his principals regarding what further advice he can come and bring to our meeting, our next meeting, which is planned for sometime next Monday, yet to be confirmed.
A crying shame. That's how noted economist Ryan Strawn reacts to central bank report that it racked up losses of $7.3 million last year. Overall, the accumulated deficit stands at $22.1 million at December 2014. Strawn says while he is not surprised, the island's chief banker should be leading the way when it comes to controlling costs. He is blaming the situation on a lack of effective management and called for the bank's management to come under greater scrutiny, stressing that steps should have been taken years ago to minimize the losses. Strawn warned that the situation stands to impact on the credibility of the bank, and he suggests that the central bank will likely require a cash injection from the government.
The fact that the central bank may need some recapitalization, which could only come from government if they're making losses, to be honest, suggests to me, obviously, that the management of the institution, being led obviously by the governor, would be under greater scrutiny, because here it is, you are pronouncing on economic strategy, and you can't even control your own in-house expenses. So therefore, how can you advise the government about their own expenses when you can't actually control your own expenses internally? So if they are now presumably looking at what they can do internally, then I must say we are in for a sweet ride. But Central Bank Governor Dr. Delisle Worrell gives the assurance that steps are being taken to pull the bank out of the red. He told Barbados Today the bank is now awaiting the outcome of work being conducted by consultants to decide what areas will be addressed and what specific action should be taken. In sports now, all systems are go for this year's Sol Rally Barbados. The May 29th to 31st races have not yet begun and already records are being broken. The final running order shows 44 overseas entries, 89 overseas participants, 40 first-time overseas participants, and 27 cars in the four-wheel drive classes. 16 females are also down to compete, while the quality of entries across the board mean all bets are off. Barbados Rally Club Chairman Mark Hamilton says a growing number of players in the rallying fraternity across the world wanted to help the BRC celebrate its 25 years of special stage rallying in the island.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Farley Hill, Crane Beach, fried chicken at Pug's Bar. All parts of Barbadian life that some might know, but others don't. So join me, Katrina Marshall, as I go about town and across country, peeking into tucked-away districts and liming with the people who bring them to life. About town and across country, coming soon to Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To our regional neighbors now, Suriname's President Desi Botise is headed back to office after his National Democratic Party won the confidence of voters. With over 80% of the ballots cast in Monday's general elections, the NDP won 27 of the 51 seats in Parliament. It's the first time in Suriname's political history that a party which contested the election on its own has won. The NDP's campaign manager, Ramon Abrams, attributes the win to the party's social program and determined supporters. On the international front now, a nightmare continues to unfold across the United States as a deadly storm system leaves a trail of destruction in Texas, Oklahoma, and northern Mexico. With forecasters warning of more bad weather to come, officials are reporting at least 23 deaths, while 16 people are missing. Hundreds have been dislocated. We get more in this CNN report.
Record-breaking and deadly floodwaters continue to wreak havoc across central Texas and Oklahoma.
The challenges are not over yet. There's going to be more rain to come.
Nearly 40 counties throughout Texas now under an emergency disaster declaration. A dam rupturing just east of Austin, unable to withhold the historic amount of rain, flooding a highway.
It's not over. The rain is still here.
Family members desperately wait on dry land.
I kept calling him over and over, and I was like, are you okay? Are you okay?
As rescues continue by air and water. The National Guard called to rescue 13 people, including 3 children trapped in a rental cabin in southeast Oklahoma.
The water came up quicker than expected, road washed out, and we couldn't pass by it.
In Wimberley, Texas, around a dozen people are still missing, including 2 families with children.
When she wasn't there, I knew something was very, very wrong.
Julie Shields recalls the last phone call she received from her sister, Laura McComb.
Call Mom and Dad. I love you, and pray.
Along with her husband and 2 children inside, McComb's vacation home was swept away by the floodwaters. Her husband, found 12 miles away, says he tried desperately to save his family, but the cabin split in 2.
And on that note, we end our Barbados Today morning news update. However, you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper or email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into Channel 101 on Lime TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and the sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.
This news update is brought to you by...
So, I'm meeting Rico later. Gotta check in with the girls, but first, let me check my usage on the MyLime app. Now, what should I wear? #sexy.